What's going on, my friends? My name's Corrupt. Welcome back to the channel, and today we are going to be looking at more TH12 base identification. You guys really seem to enjoy the last time I covered this topic, so why not we do more? Let's go ahead and first start off with a different Lalo, the Electrone Lalo. So usually you want to take a look at a couple main things. Mainly you want to look at where the enemy queen is placed. You want to look at where the town hall is and where the clan castle is. Those should be your three main things to keep in mind. You don't need to get the town hall with the Electrone, but if it's in the core of the base near the queen, then it might be worth it. Normally what you want to do though is you want to look at where you can get the most value that is not going to get your blimp blown back by a sweeper. So like in this case here, you can avoid the sweepers if you go into this direction. But why should you go in that direction towards the Eagle Artillery? Well, if you go into this area here, you've got a sort of dead area where there's literally no buildings. So you can take advantage of this and get rid of the Eagle and the Queen in the core of the base. You can make it a bit easier for yourself to get through. So that's exactly what you want to try and do. So you want to first start by going ahead and using a couple balloons to soak up any seeking air mines like you see there. And you want to try and get your blimp directly towards that Queen. So then you could use the clone spells ahead and behind the blimp in order to make sure that you're able to get through. If you need to use a free spell, you can. But take a look at how the balloons kind of form a bubble in a way. And that way what you're able to do is get rid of the Queen and get rid of defenses around there, including the Eagle Artillery. At this stage, where do you do your hero dive? Well, pretty simple. You should go in for an air defense. And you can deal with the enemy clan castle troops pretty easily. You can lure them over and then kill them off with a poison if you want to, or you can use a specific troop like a baby dragon. But the main thing here should be using your hero dive. And your hero dive is going to go in for a particular defense. Like for instance here, using the super wall breaker to take down the wall and opening up that area for the Queen, which is exactly what you want. So when you're doing the lava loom portion, keep in mind that if you don't have the town hall down, that should be your main priority. But don't go straight towards it because you've already got weird pathing for the lava loom. So you can see that the hero dive is going to go in for this area. You don't need to worry about it now. You can start your Lalo once you know that your heroes are going to go in the right direction. Now when you're doing the lava loom portion, that's a different story. Remember, you want to use the air defenses as your visual cue. So you're going to use a lava hound and your Lalo starting here. And then you want to look at where the next air defense is. So you want to go from the point A to point B. And that way you're able to get over to the town hall. You can save your Warden Eternal Tome for the town hall. And that way you're able to get through. So remember though, if you're doing the lava loom portion, you're going to be using balloons on different defenses on the outsides. Mainly the most common ones are being cannons, mortars, archer towers, air defenses sometimes, wizard towers, Teslas, and also bomb towers. So you just want to keep those in mind. But if you're using this, you want to be able to make sure that you're using the haste spells included to get your balloons to defenses that are really going to tear your balloons down. As an example, wizard towers, expos, and of course the town hall. You also want to try and get over to multi-infernos, maybe Tesla farms, and even air defenses. But you can see how we're using the Warden Eternal Tome to protect the balloons through the Giga Bomb. That thing's going to do a ton of damage, and especially if you don't have the Warden aura around the balloons, they're just going to get absolutely shredded. So you want to keep that in mind. But for the most part, you want to be able to save your haste spells, specifically to get balloons to key defenses that are absolutely going to wreck your balloons. So you just want to keep that in mind if you are planning on using a lava loon based attack like this one as an example. You can see how he's going to lure out the goblins from the clan castle, but it's not going to be a big issue either. So this is a really simple way of going with the lava loon, and using the Electrone can actually provide you with more value than a blizzard could. Now next up, we want to take a look at a dragon attack. This one is the Zap Dragons with the use of a blizzard. This is probably the strongest way of using the Zap Dragons nowadays. So what you want to really do if you're looking at this is you want to mainly look at where you can get rid of one air defense and the town hall. This is extremely important. I would always recommend using the Blizzard against the Town Hall if you're using the Blizzard with the Dragons. That way what you're able to do is you don't need to worry about that anymore. But normally you want to try and get rid of the Town Hall and an air defense if possible. If you can get rid of the enemy clan castle troops, that's awesome too. But you're mainly looking for those two specific things. And that way what you're able to do is create a small funnel upon this area of the base. That way you can use something like a hero dive on this side. You don't need to break open any walls, and you're going to be able to start moving in with your dragons, which is exactly what you want to do. The leftover air defenses you want to use the lightning spells on, and you can see that there is a single target inferno. So how do you deal with that? Well, we will go over that a little bit later through this replay. But mainly, I want you guys to really take a look at what he's doing with the blizzard. He gets into an area away from the town hall. You don't want that giga bomb to go off. But sometimes, unfortunately, maybe your super wizards get way too close to the wall, and boom, they go boom. Goodbye. So you want to be very careful about that. So next you want to look at sweeper placement. That's very important, and that's going to help you understand where should I use them. And along with that, where should you use the lightning spells? Well, try to look for 2 air defenses that are a bit further away, like these 2 here. That way you don't need to worry about them, since some of them are definitely being covered by air sweepers, so you couldn't just send one in here or one in here. But if you go right behind both of them and go in for this air defense up top, you're going to be able to get through the base. You're just using the hero dive though to create a little bit of a funnel, and now you don't need to worry about them. You can start worrying though about the dragons and the balloons. You've also got the use of baby dragons, and they're going to help create the funnel for you for only that 10 housing space. So what you're going to be able to do though is you want to try and look at where the air defense is, and you want to be able to create a funnel so most of your dragons stay in the base. But use the rage spell and the Warden Eternal Tome to get through the air defense, and if there's a multi-inferno, get through that. Now, I would heavily advise as well, if you are not bringing a freeze, which clearly you wouldn't be, you want to go specifically in for wherever that single is. Don't attack away from the single, exactly go where it is. So you want to be very careful about where single target infernos are placed. That way what you're able to do is help yourself identify exactly where should I be hitting with the use of the dragons, and how can I take down a single target inferno, because if my dragons miss the single, then everything is just going to go bad. So you want to really make sure that you're able to get through a majority of the base. Unfortunately, his Warden got taken out by a Seeking Air Mine, so you gotta be very careful about Seeking Air Mines and the Warden going a little too far than the dragons themselves. So you want to be very careful, but nonetheless, you can still get easy triples by using the Blizzard with the Zap Dragons, the best air attack to use right now at Town Hall 12. Last time we did talk about the regular hybrid, but we never talked about how you can add other variations like a Yeti bomb and when to use that. Well, adding a Yeti bomb is very simple. On most anti-3-star bases, you want to try and look for the enemy clan castle right near an Inferno Tower. This is going to help you create the funnel, and that way you also don't need to worry about it when you're starting your queen charge. So you want to be able to get rid of an Inferno Tower. That is great. And then the next thing that you're looking for is specifically, where should I be going in next? And mainly, you can actually wait on the town hall. So you can actually use a queen charge to go directly in for the eagle artillery. That way what you're able to do is take that eagle out, since if you leave it up for most of the attack, it's really going to harm your miners and hogs really difficultly. So you want to be able to get through something like that. Along with this, you can use the Warden ability for that Town Hall later on. Now, what if the Town Hall is in the center? Well, you can still use a Yeti bomb, but you will want to wait until you send your hybrid in with it. That way, what you're able to then do is use that blimp in order to get rid of the Town Hall, while the hybrid is just going around the base. So you want to make sure, though, that if you're going to be using this, you drop in the rage, drop in that blimp right on top of the Inferno. That way what you're able to do is damage other structures, and you're also able to lure out the clan castle more effectively. That way you can get more damage done from your Yeti mites included, as they're going to be able to take down other defenses around there. So now that you've done your Yeti bomb, then it would be time to deal with the enemy clan castle troops, and then start sending in your queen charge. And it's really simple to see exactly where you would want a queen charge. You can either do your queen charge up at the top to deal with the town hall, or the eagle artillery. Really does depend though on where you're going to be going in. Usually though, it would be way better to go in for the eagle artillery, as that is a much more of a bigger threat than the town hall is, since you could just use the warden ability over it. But with the eagle, it's going to be constantly firing, if not within that dead space that it occupies, or in terms of its sort of dead zone area. So you want to be very careful in terms of those things. So you want to be able to really take a look at an area where you can funnel out, get rid of some important buildings, like as an example, the eagle artillery, and as long as you're able to get rid of that, you can then start creating the funnel on the other side. How you identify this is just by looking at where you want to send in your miners and hog riders, and then what you want to do is use your king. The king is going to be used in order to create the funnel, since you don't have access to the siege barracks, and sometimes you could add some witches into that too, so to kind of mimic that sort of thing. But usually though, using just the king is fine, and that way what you're able to do is start moving in by using the hogs and miners. Notice how he uses the first heal spell first and foremost over the Inferno. You should always do that. In order to keep that heal alive, or in order to keep all the hogs and miners alive, use that first heal. Now, if you're still going in away from the town hall and the town hall activates, use a freeze, and then go ahead and use your Warden Eternal Tome and or a heal spell. That way you're able to protect enough of your miners and hog riders as they can get through that Giga Bomb. So you want to be able to do exactly that. And really, the rest of the base is there for you after you get through the entire thing. So the Yeti Bomb is truly an incredible way to get 3 stars, even if the Town Hall is in the center, or if the Town Hall is a bit more offset in a more sort of anti-3 star. You never always, though, just have to use the Yeti Bomb on an Inferno. If you can lure out the Clan Castle and take down the Town Hall, do so. You don't always need a rage spell in order to get through Infernos, but you will need one in order to get through the Town Hall. So you always will need one in order to do just that. So you always want to be able, though, to get easier 3 stars, so this makes it a little bit simpler to use the Yeti Bomb with the hybrid. Next up is the Zap Witches, and of course, we really want to go over this one so you guys really understand. Now, if you're seeing triple multis like you see here, then you want to use something very simple. Use the lightning spells. You want to get through the Inferno Towers. That's pretty easy and standard. Then you want to look at 3 main buildings. The 3rd multi-Inferno, the Eagle Artillery, and the Town Hall. Those are going to be 3 structures that you want to take a look at next. So you want to be able to either choose whether the Wall Wrecker is better or the Log Launcher. Usually the Log Launcher is going to be better against areas like this, where there is a bunch of DPS like the Expos, the Warden Altar, and the Cannons in there, along with other point defenses. So you want to be able to get through that. So using a Log Launcher to stay back is exactly what you want. If you want to use the Wall Wrecker, you're looking for the exact opposite. So you can see using the lightning spells though is really simple, but you want to be able to make sure that you're using them in between other structures. You don't just want to use the lightning over only the Inferno Towers. You want to be able to get rid of multiple structures. Take advantage of its funneling capabilities. So as you can see from here though, you're using the golems in a very simple way. Golem, golem, golem. That's it. That's all you got to do. And then once you're able to do that, you can send in your witches and then send in your log launcher with your heroes. You do want them, though, to start going through the core of the base. You may have also noticed the use of the jump spell, and we will be getting to that in just a moment. Being able to use either the log launcher or the wall wrecker, you're always going to bring a jump spell for the back end. Since the log launcher is really slow, it is definitely a must to bring that. But if you want to be able to protect all your troops, including the log launcher, and prevent anything from whittling down more of its health, then make sure that you use the Warden ability in order to protect that log launcher. And since the log launcher is going to be able to break open a lot of different walls, it's going to be able to start helping you get through. However, if it doesn't open up that town hall compartment, it might be better to just go ahead and use a jump spell to get all the way across that. That way you can actually take care of the town hall without having to worry about anything too much. Either this being the king or an ice golem and P.E.K.K.A. But outside of that, you're going to be able to get through a larger area of the base. Now keep in mind, if you're seeing a lot of single target infernos only, bring in the use of either an IC5, which I would totally recommend. It's probably the easiest against singles, and you could also use this, you can use the Mass Witch if you don't really want to use the bat spells, or if you find it a little bit more risky. But that really sums up exactly what you're doing with the witches and how you can identify for the Zap witches specifically, but also what you can do with other witch attacks, and that way what you're able to do is easily get through. So hopefully you found this video helpful. Hopefully you guys can take something away from it. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and ring the notification bell for more educational but fun Clash of Clans content here for Town Hall 10, possibly Town Hall 11, Town Hall 12, and Town Hall 13. Make sure you guys also go ahead and follow me over on the social and join my Discord server, and I'll be catching you in the next video. Corrupt, signing out.